You might remember what an elif statement is. Elif in Python is an else-if statement, and it allows us to test for multiple conditions. Elif in this example will allow us to check for 4 different cases, whether the weather is sunny, rainy, snowy, or if we put in another entry that we don't understand. Let's look at the example in the very simplest case with just the if statement. If the weather, this input that we got right here, is equal to sunny, then we are gonna print wear a t-shirt. If we wanna check for rainy, else would not work for us, because it could also be snowy entered or some invalid input. So we use the elif statement. This first elif checks if it's raining. The second elif checks if it's snowy, and then finally we get to our else statement, where it's none of the 3 cases we checked for, and we just say we don't understand the message. Let's run the code. I'll try sunny first. It says to wear a t-shirt, so we went through this path. Let's run it again. It's snowy, we went through this path. This was not true if statement. The elif statement was not true, rainy. The elif statement for snowy was true, and we printed our message. So we can control the flow through many paths using elif. The other examples were similar. It just uses the elif statement to see if we are guessing a number properly. So we put in a secret number and then we tell the individuals to guess 1, 2, or 3. If it's not a digit, then we say they need to put in a digit. So this case checks if it's a letter or so other non-digit. If they guess 1, we tell them they guessed too low. If they guess the secret number, we tell them that it's right. If they guess 3, we tell them too high. And otherwise, we say it's not a valid guess in the range. Let's run the code. If we enter a typed 3 in letters, we should get the message that's an invalid guess. And we do. And that means the statement here executed. It checked if it's a digit, and because if isDigit was false, then that executes it matched. IsDigit function equals false. Yes, then run this code. Let's try another test. Here we gotta run the third elif statement. Using the elif statement, we can check for multiple conditions. Now some words about casting. Casting input is a common task. Input always is a string, and so it's important sometimes that we are able to change it into a float or an integer or back to a string. Casting is when we force a type upon an object. We're gonna look at 3 different types of casts. Integer forces something to become an integer, so you have to put in int. str is a string cast and then float. Let's look at this example where we have 2 weights. One is a string and the second one is an integer. When we add numbers, they can be floats and integers, but not strings. In this case, if we run the code, we get the familiar type error that we saw earlier when we did string concatenation and tried to add an integer to a string. It's the same error here. We'll need weight 1, the string, to become an integer. Cast is by typing the keyword int in front of the object and place it in the parentheses. Now, 60 changes from digit that are string to numbers. And we add and get our result 230. In this example, we're going